talk about that bad jobs number for starters. Part of that was due to people having been vaccinated. Part of it was due to there's not a mismatch, or there is a mismatch between abilities and job openings. And some people have childcare issues. But a bigger part still is that the government is paying people to stay home. If the Bank of America has a new report out saying if you don't make 32,000 a year, you're better off staying home and collecting the relief checks. So talk to small businessmen who run restaurants and manufacturing operations and small businesses, retail. They'll tell you you can't find the people you need to come in and staff the place because they're sitting comfortably at home playing video games and watching TV. And until those checks run out, which will be in a few months, you're not going to get the full employment that we're all looking for.
Well, I don't think you're going to get it now anyway because of the threat of tax rises. So I think that's a myth. That's not going to happen. But Montana and South Carolina both said no more. We're not going to, right, we're going to cut off this unemployment thing. And some people need it. I mean, we all know that. I mean, if you were knocked out by the pandemic and you were crippled, you need a safety net. I don't object to that. Now, there was a column in the Wall Street Journal by Daniel Henninger. He's a very good writer. And he said that this big government spending and the big nanny state, and literally it is a nanny state when they want to pay for people to mind your kids. And I got a question for you, a real retail question, Alex. So Biden says, I'm going to pay for your babysitting. That's what it is, all right? Federal government's going to do that. How on earth could the federal government regulate how this happens? You don't think that some daycare centers are going to pad it? They're going to say, well, I mind little Johnny for 14 hours a week when really they minded little Johnny for 7 hours a week. Who's going to see that? Johnny going to blow the whistle on him? The parents, they don't know. They don't know what the daycare center is going to bill the federal government. So there's absolutely no quality control on daycare payments, and it's just going to go into the billions of dollars, right?
Right, Bill. It's a whole new entitlement. It's pretty shocking to think that during a temporary crisis, when people do have real childcare issues, that they're going to make this a permanent subsidy, and for higher net worth and higher income families as well. So it's not as if we didn't have an entitlement system that's already teetering, given that the unfunded liabilities for the programs that we already have are well over $100 trillion, which is, a number so mind-boggling that even astronomers and cosmologists don't throw it around. But you're right. Eventually, all this debt, and the Biden administration is overseeing more than $6 trillion in spending in the first 100 days. Somebody's going to have to pick up the tab for this. It's not monopoly money. Somebody has to pay for it. And you can see that other countries are doing this. Look at Germany. They live with the Weimar Republic. They know what happens when inflation gets out of control. It's hard to stop. And other governments are simply not doing this because it's just a giveaway.
Well,
you can get any economy going with that kind of money thrown at it.
It's so absurd, I can't even tell you. If they want to help poor people who have children and need to work, you give a tax credit, okay? You give credits to them. You don't pay outright. Now, this all ties into the American dream and Henninger. He says that all of this big government spending, nanny state stuff is eroding the American dream because it used to be we made it on our own hard work and skill, and now many of us are depending on the federal government to give us stuff. Is that what's in play here?
Right. The traditional idea of the American dream is that we live in a free country with a robust economy, and everybody has an opportunity to go as far as their abilities and their work ethic and their persistence will take them. And how do you achieve the American dream? It's what every parent tells every child, which is stay out of trouble, be responsible, show up on time, work, save, invest, compound your money. There's a guy named Dr. Thomas Stanley wrote a book called The Millionaire Next Door 20 years ago, and he pointed out that the way most people achieve a seven-figure net worth is not by founding a computer company in their garage or making a million selling rap album or playing professional baseball. They do it by just regularly living within their means, setting money aside, investing smartly, and compounding their money over long periods of time. And that's how the American dream is achieved. It's not an entitlement that the government delivers. That's some kind of a misconception.
There's definitely erosion. If you look at the millennials and the younger people, I mean, they don't have any confidence in the system. They think it's rigged and they want the government to give them stuff. Now, you mentioned the stock market. A lot of people worried, including me, that the stock market is overbought. It's into territory where it could be a catastrophe on the downside. Your recommendation, which I take, is you put stop losses 15% down or so on all your stocks so that, you know, when they go down, you're not going to get wiped out. However, many people, including me, have mutual funds that don't do that. That could go bang down 30% in 3 days with the markets that we have. If we do have a decline, there will be a panic and all of that. Have you thought about a possible market decline? I know nobody can predict, all right? And how are you preparing for it?
Well, you're right, Bill. To start with, no one can predict what the economy or the stock market will do, so you take steps in advance. It is a frothy market from a standpoint of the stock market generally sells for 16 times trailing earnings. That's the profits of the company. Now it's about 26 times trailing earnings. Some stocks are very reasonably priced. Look at IBM, 13 times projected earnings for this year, very reasonable, 4.5% dividend, very good. Versus Tesla, 650 times earnings. And Tesla's a fine company with a wonderful product and a smart guy in charge, but is it worth 650 times earnings? I would say no. So there are reasonable things that you can buy. I don't think the whole market is a bubble, but I think there are bubbles within the market. Tesla's one of them. Certainly the cryptocurrencies and Dogecoin in particular, which is just a complete inanity, a joke cryptocurrency that serves no purpose whatsoever, that's worth more than companies like Marriott International. It's completely nutty. But as far as the market itself, what you do is you diversify. Within the market, you spread some risk outside the market in bonds and cash. And as you mentioned, you have a sell discipline. If something goes against you by a certain percentage, you get out, no questions asked. And that keeps you safe when things get rough, which they will from time to time.
Because I have no confidence in the Biden administration's economic viability. I think they're going to hurt the economy. I hope that they're tossed out in the midterms. Republicans gain both houses and some sanity is injected. I want to mention that Alex Green and I have a project. It'll be out in June. And that, I've been with Alex since 2003. I've done well with him. But I also want to mention to everyone that there is high risk in the stock market. Even though it is the way to give you financial independence, you got to be very careful. That fair, Alex?
That's well put, Bill. Okay. I agree entirely.
We'll see you soon. Thanks a lot for helping us out today.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
Fellow Americans, I am concerned about the U.S. dollar. Huge debt, as you know. Will it stay as the world's reserve currency? That's why now more than ever, I recommend you diversify with gold and silver. And the only company I recommend, and have for years, is American Hartford Gold. I trust them. I've personally done business with them. They sell physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA. And they make it very easy. So call them right now. Make sure you tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. Since I have been recommending American Hartford Gold, gold shot up more than 40%. Silver, more than 60%. So don't wait. Call them now. 866-501-5201. 866-501-5201. Or text Bill to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201, or text Bill to 65532. Bill O'Reilly here. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure you subscribe to the First TV YouTube page. Just hit the big red subscribe button below, and you'll get clips and highlights of my program, The No Spin News, every single day. We'll see you soon.